Hello and welcome to this week's Variant Proportion Update for Tuesday, February 14th, 2023. We continue to see the XBB variant become more dominant in the United States. The XBB variant 1.5 makes up 74.7% of all cases in the country, and it is slowly starting to finally take over in all regions. So XBB15, 74.7%, BQ 1.1, 15.3%, BQ.1, 5.1%, XBB 1.9%, CH 1.1, 1.3%, BN.1, 0.8%, BA.5, 0.3%, BF.7, 0.3%, BA 5.2.6, 0.1%, and BA.2, 0.1%. Now, as we go into the regions with this video, we're not going to do anything under 1%, but just on the national level, I thought we would. And let's go to Region 1, Connecticut, Maine, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, and Vermont. This region has seen exceptionally high values of the XBB15 variant. Regions 1 and 2 both actually have XBB15, 93.6%, BQ 1.1, 3.8%, BQ.1, 1.4%. So as you can see here, it's pretty straightforward. XBB15 dominance in this area. Region 2, New Jersey, New York, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands. Here, even higher. 95.2% of all cases are XBB15, then followed by BQ 1.1, which is at 2.7. BQ.1 is at 1.1%. Region 3, Delaware, District of Columbia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and West Virginia. In this region, slightly less XBB15, but it still comes in at 85.8%. BQ 1.1 comes in at 8%, BQ.1, 3%, XBB 1.5%, and at CH 1.1, which I have been following, is at 0.9%. Although I will tell you I'm less concerned about it now because it's not really it's having a hard time taking off here in the United States, and you'll see that as we go into more regions. Region 4, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Mississippi, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Tennessee. In this region, XBB15 makes up 72.4% of the cases, BQ 1.1 makes up 17.2% of the cases, BQ.1 makes up 4.5% of the cases, XBB makes up 2.3%, and CH 1.1 makes up 1.8%. Region 5, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Minnesota, Ohio, and Wisconsin. In this region, XBB15 is a little bit less, 60.4% of the cases. BQ 1.1 is still 23.7% of the cases. BQ.1 is 8.2% of the cases. CH 1.1 is 2.7% of the cases. XBB is 1.7% of the cases. And the old BN.1 COVID variant is 1.4% of the cases. Region 6, Arkansas, Louisiana, New Mexico, Oklahoma, and Texas. In this region, XBB15 is 63.4% of the COVID cases, BQ 1.1 is 23%, BQ.1 is 7.2%, XBB is 2.9%, CH 1.1 is 1.4%, and BN.1 is 1%. Region 7, Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, and Nebraska. In this region, XBB15 is just 53.1% of the cases, BQ 1.1 is 29% of the cases, BQ.1 is 9.4%, BN.1 is 2%, CH 1.1 is 1.9%, XBB is 1.6%, and BA.5, yes, remember that variant from last summer? That's still at 1.4% of the cases. Alrighty, Region 8, Colorado, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Utah, and Wyoming. In this region, XBB15 is slightly higher, at 60.9% of the cases. BQ1.1 is at 24.7% of the cases. BQ.1 is at 8% of the cases. XBB is at 2.2% of the cases. CH1.1 is at 1.5% of the cases. And BN.1 is at 1.1% of the cases. Alrighty, Region 9. Arizona, California, Hawaii, Nevada, American Samoa, Commonwealth of Northern Mariana Islands, Federated States of Micronesia. In this region, you will see XBB15 is just 56.9% of the cases. It is dominant, but there's still other variants out there that are in a good amount of prevalence, such as the BQ1.1. 24.9% of the cases. BQ.1, 10% of the cases. XBB, 4% of the cases. CH1.1, 1.5% of the cases. And BN.1 at 1.4% of the cases. Alright, moving on to our final region. Alaska, Idaho, Oregon, and Washington. In this region, BQ1.1 is 40.8% of the cases, XBB15 is 37.4% of the cases, BQ.1 is 13.2% of the cases, XBB is 2.2% of the cases, and BN.1 is 2.1% of the cases, CH1.1 is 1.2% of the cases, and the old BA.5 is still 1.2% of the cases. This is the only region where XBB15 is still not dominant. I think come next week, that should finally, eventually change, and it should become dominant. Not sure why it's slower here. The BQ1.1 variant is just more successful in this area at the moment, but that should eventually change. Alright, that does it for this week's variant proportion. As you can see, XB15 is still the dominant variant all across the United States. CH1.1 is not as big of a deal as I originally thought it would become, and there are, at the moment, no signs of any new variants taking hold in the United States. We'll have to see if that changes down the line, and we'll have to see what pops up elsewhere around the world, or will we get another homegrown variant like we saw last year in the spring. Alrighty, thanks for watching this COVID variant proportion update video, and remember, if you like the content you see on my channel, hit the like and subscribe button down below. Stay safe, everyone.